Here we go.
There we go.
And there came a day, unlike any other, where Earth's mightiest comic fans found themselves united against a common threat. On that day, the Black Comic Lords were born to fulfill the dreams of comic fans everywhere that no single comic fan could withstand. We're back! Wednesday wrap up.
What's up, chat?
What's up?
Angel, Rich, Paul, how you doing today?
Good.
Oh, Richard's here.
Yeah, surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
So it's our Wednesday wrap-up show, everybody, where we review what's happened over the past week. It's New Comic Book Day. New books have come out. New television shows have dropped. New things have popped up on the nets. And we're going to talk about it. Let's chop it up.
Yes.
What's our first topic?
Hey, up first, comics of the week.
Comics of the week. Let's go to our little League of Comic Book Geek cheat sheet pull list. Here we go. Let's see. Abbott 1979 dropped this week. Antarctica dropped this week. Has anyone read this, Antarctica?
No.
Not,
Yeah,
me,
I'm
not
reading
yet.
What do you think of it, Rich? I've heard good things.
It's okay. It's nothing, I would say, groundbreaking. It's up to like issue number 7, I want to say.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's okay. It's about a young lady whose father worked, I guess, in Antarctica, and it's kind of a mystery. He had been rumored to, I guess, long be dead, but he's alive, and so it's not a superhero story. It's I guess you can espionage if that'd probably be the best word for it.
Yeah.
But it's okay. I mean, it's been going on. It's like I say, it's up to 7 issues, so it's a solid read. Artist is pretty good. But yeah.
Would you give it a thumbs up or no?
If I had to give it, I don't know about a thumbs up, maybe half a thumb.
A nub?
When
It gets a
I mean,
nub.
look, you know how it is when you read a book or when you start reading the book and it seems to be okay, and then it's like, okay, I'm checking for it. It's okay. I'm gonna try to keep up with it, and then you get in about 4 or 5 issues and you kind of lose interest. That's kind of where I've been with it, to be honest. But I mean, I think it's a decent read. I wouldn't wait to get the trade. I'll say it like that.
Wait to get the trade. That speaks volumes.
Yes.
All right, so let's check out next. I want to talk about this for a sec because last time we were here, we talked about what no one's talking about Avengers.
Frustrated Fan Sports Show had a comic about Antarctica. So really intriguing read that gave a big twist in the 6th issue.
I love Antarctica. Mm-hmm. It's a really intriguing read that gave a big twist.
All right. It's all right.
So I wanted to mention Avengers 9. Jed MacKay is weaving together a new Avengers story after the Jason Aaron run. It's not a bad read. I'm not certain why people aren't talking about it, but this team lineup is pretty good. The only thing I don't like is the animus between Sam Wilson and T'Challa, who had kind of a team up in the last issue, in which they had to convince this sentient city to not be a bad guy but a good guy, and ended up becoming the new Avengers headquarters up in the sky. And I thought there's this one really cool scene that I wanted to share here. If I can share this. in this panel and says, this is Carol Danvers is talking to the Sentient City about how Sam Wilson and T'Challa convinced the city not to commit suicide and decided to live and become the new Avengers headquarters. And the city goes, it was T'Challa and Sam who gave me the strength to live. They are extraordinary men. And Carol says, they are indeed. I sent T'Challa here to do the hard thing because that's who he is. And I sent Sam to do the right thing because that's who he is. Interesting, a balance. And that's kind of an interesting perspective as to why these two men are on the team, because they've been butting heads, but they kind of balance each other out in that regard. I just thought it was a interesting little tidbit. And Jed MacKay puts stuff like that, little Easter eggs, little moments of shine for each one of these characters, which is kind of difficult to do when you have a team book and you've got all basically quote unquote A-listers on one team. Well, except for Scarlet Witch and Vision, who I don't consider A-listers. But you got the rest of these people that are the A-listers on one team. It's hard to give everyone a little bit of shine, and he does not a bad job of that. Let's see what other books we had that are of note this week.
Oh, Derek's mic went off. I saw his mouth moving, no sound.
What happened?
I'll try again. Yeah. So John Styles with a comment about maybe Sam got out of pocket when he visited Wakanda. So.
Sam was definitely out of pocket when he visited Wakanda.
And then frustrated with the question, is Captain Marvel the leader of the team?
She is. She is. Is this the first time she's led the Avengers? I think so.
Yeah. I don't remember her leading the Avengers specifically before this one.
She's led teams before, but not the Avengers.
No.
The other book that was one of my favorites for this week, Blade, number 7. Number 7.
Yeah, 7. I haven't read it yet.
You haven't read it yet?
No.
Well, no spoilers then. The cover is a little misleading. I'll say that.
Okay.
You know, I will say this. This is a standalone issue. It's part of the larger storyline that's going on in Blade in general with Adana. But if you had not read issues 1 through 6 and you just picked this up just as a Blade story, it stands on its own square feet as its own singular. It's almost like a one-shot.
Oh, nice.
It's a good standalone one-shot story. And you do get to see Blade use a new power that you haven't seen before.
Oh, okay. Then I'll read it after this.
So in that respect, it's almost a minor key because you've never seen him use this power before.
Okay.
If you have been reading issues 1 through 6, you know that in the recent issues he started training with Dracula.
Yes.
And now you get to see something that he's learned, a new trick. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I love that they are pairing up and he's learning finally with his hard head.
There's also Deep Cuts. Rich, you've been reading this book, right? Deep Cuts, the jazz book.
Yes.
Did you get number 4 yet?
Hadn't been to the shop.
Oh yeah, I'm in the shop. But how's that run been so far?
I mean, it's okay. It's really for it's really for people who like jazz or who love jazz. It's not for the casual comic book fan or whatever, because it's really. I mean, you could read it as a story and get something out of it, but for the most part, it's a book about jazz, different types of jazz, jazz musicians, different styles of jazz. Where you're talking about bebop, big band, stuff like that. So I've enjoyed it so far. But for the most part, that's kind of what it is. It's not a surface level casual type book. It's a book that if you dig jazz, you will love it. The art is probably what would draw the quote unquote casual in. The art's been pretty good. So, but for and every issue stands alone. It's literally just an anthology of sorts.
32 pages and $5.99. Does that get the Rich's stamp of approval?
It does. I mean, for me, everything is about quality. It's it's unfortunate that we live in this culture of comic book now where please buy my book, just don't open it, because I'm gonna spend all my money on the cover and ain't gonna do nothing with the interior art. So, but it's a nice size book. It's $3.90. I mean, $5.99 is a decent price for what you're gonna get. You get a little value for this particular book. So yeah, I don't know how long it's gonna continue to go, but yeah, it's pretty good.
Hey,
Yeah.
I like
Seems
Rich. I like your
like
comment.
it's an
I
ongoing.
like your
I don't think
commentary.
there's a limited series.
I like your commentary on that and the fact that some books are for you, some are not. You can tell somebody you might like this if, you might not like it if,
Right.
along with the opinion. That's a good way to go, because all sorts of types of people.
Right. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
A giant-sized Spider-Man came out. I haven't read it yet. But I know they're doing more things with Miles. I do think this one cover is kind of interesting if you decide to get it. One of the comments that it's been made about Miles is that he doesn't have a rogues gallery, at least one that's his own. And he's been slowly but surely building his own rogues gallery after his 10 years of being out there. There are some original characters that Cody Ziegler himself just put in the book. There's a new version of Prowler, which we'll talk about in a sec. Here's Starling. Here's Hightail, which is Cody Ziegler creation. Rabble, Cody Ziegler creation. This guy, what's his name? Bumbler or something like that? I forget his name. He's kind of a clownish villain that Cody created. But this is Miles' entire rogues gallery. It's kind of cool. So if you're a Miles fan, that's probably one you want to check out.
Charles Stewart.
Now, going into more detail about Miles, I think his own book came out. Let me skip ahead a little bit. I will say this issue, Miles Morales 15. Any of you guys read this yet?
And been to the shop.
It's actually pretty good.
I don't follow Miles.
It's actually pretty good.
I'll a comic once in a while, but I don't follow Miles.
One cool thing I'll mention without doing any spoilers is that Miles forms his own Spidey team.
Okay.
Which is kind of cool to see him with his own Spidey team. And most of them are people of color, so it's kind of cool. Let's see. What else came out this week? Kingspawn, Kaya, Outsiders, which is a very different book. It's not a traditional Capes and Cowls book. It's more of a science, mystery, noir, sci-fi book, if that makes sense. Luke Cage, Gang War by boy Rodney Barnes. I gotta be honest, it wasn't quite what I expected. I don't know. Maybe it's the MF Doom mask that he's wearing as a vigilante that I find bothersome, but I'm just not feeling that. There's this book called Rebel Moon, House of the Blood Axe. Did you guys watch Rebel Moon yet?
I have. I loved it. Absolutely.
You liked it? Yeah, I mean, these are two black characters that are on the show. And I guess this goes into more of their background. I haven't read it yet. I've ordered this one. Hopefully I'll have it next week. This Speed Force book has I think Mr. Terrific has a role in that. Again with Rodney Barnes, Mandalorian season 2, number 8, with our man Giancarlo Esposito, Grand Moff Gideon himself
Who'll
on
be
the
at
cover.
Con. I cannot wait.
Have we done the math
That's
on how
dope
many? Have we done the math on how many series Rodney's doing right now?
Ooh,
At one time,
Right at one time, coterminously.
does
That's
that include what he's doing on Substack?
Yes,
Oh.
it should include that. Yes.
All right, so let's run it down. Philadelphia, Nita Hawes, Johnny Gatlin, Elysian Fields, Mandalorian.
But is he writing all those? Are all those coming out right now? Like I know there's another Nita Hall's coming out very soon. Philadelphia's running, right? Let's see.
Luke
Johnny
Cage, 6.
Gatlin is all like a replay, right? It's
That's all reprints and
yeah.
that's coming out in print.
I'm just trying to figure out how much
If
of
he's
Vampire
making
is
money
he
off
gonna
of it,
have.
he
Yeah.
gets credit.
they better be paying him.
He's got a nice. He's writing about 4 or 5 books. He's writing Alice Cooper,
Oh, that's right.
Philadelphia, Nita
Oh, yeah.
Hawes,
Yeah, about that.
Mandalorian, Luke Cage. Plus, he's doing he's doing a storytelling podcast called Run Fool. He's doing that as well. So yeah, he's got 7.
What just happened to Derek?
6 or
I
7.
think if I put any type of signals up, it'll automatically try to
You put
Put a
making gang
representation
signs
of
and
that.
getting some type of
It's
animated.
fan
Yeah.
fair celebration.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. I guess it's only for you. That's
Okay.
producer
Yep, there you
stuff.
go. It's fireworks.
There we go.
Derek, have you been harmed by the fireworks?
I'm safe.
Wow, that's bizarre.
Yeah.
All right. So, hold on a second. Derek, you just made a comment that made me think of something that I thought was important for us to mention. And that is this concept right here. Our next topic. I have a question for all of you. Have you been marked safe from Katt Williams today?
Since I'm on the truth train, yes, I'm
Wow.
marked safe. I am okay.
Richard, are you safe from Katt Williams?
I was safe before he opened his mouth. So
Richard's like, I'm saved, so yes, I am safe.
absolutely.
Derek?
Yeah, Wayne Ashford there. Rodney Barnes is writing the Alice Cooper book.
He's running out of scoop book.
Yep.
So
I'm safe. I'm under the radar.
You're under the
he
radar.
doesn't see me.
You're so low key, there's no way Katt Williams even knows you.
Yeah. He doesn't see my flexes or anything, so I'm good.
So you admit to the fact that you flex.
If that's what you say.
That was a slip up you just did. My friend. That was a slip up. That's what we call a Freudian slip.
Oh, he's telling on ourselves.
Yeah.
That's
I'm good.
incriminating
I'm good.
evidence that has now been documented. It's not just me. Y'all see, it's not just me. He knows what he's doing. Y'all act like the dude's just a little chill and not unassuming. He knows what he's doing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Thanks, Angel.
Frustrated says, I think what you are feeling, Paul, is the fact that the book seems to be not as hard hitting as it should be because it's part of gang war, and a lot. It's a lot that is missing. Yeah, probably. Charles stood. If Jack Kirby was still alive today, he'd be the Katt of the comic industry. Basically, Jack Kirby knows where all the bodies are buried.
Yes.
He probably would start with something like, "That's Stan Lee. He ain't." Wayne Ashford says, I again don't care for Katt Williams' foul mouth, but is he a comics fan? Well, who the hell cares? He's funny.
He's very funny.
Jack the Gamer, Rich, wanted to say thanks again. I got the Walker books and the Funkos.
Woo woo! I like Funko.
The legend of Richard Wright continues.
Big shipping.
Yeah.
I can tell you all that Rich is a far more generous individual human being than I am.
Okay.
That's all I'll say on that.
All right. That sounds suspect.
It's not suspect. It's all love. It's all love and respect for that man. That's
Oh,
it.
guess what? We missed
Right.
one. We missed one. Look at this for Rodney Barnes, Monarch.
bought
I
the
guess, or is
sci-fi
he,
through Monarch
but he's
trade
done
paperback.
with that run now. I guess,
Yeah, he's
right?
done with that. He's
Okay.
done with that.
But the trade paperback just came on sale, so he gets credit for that too. He's making a check.
Yes.
If he gets a check, he gets credit. Why is no one talking about how Zeb Wells is having this long run on Amazing Spider-Man and Marvel is not pulling him off of the title? Well, I mean, we've talked about how certain writers get an open check to do whatever they want to do.
Yes.
They simply go to editorial and say, I have an idea for a story, and they say, here's your chair, here's your book.
Whatever you
Enjoy.
want.
Let us know when you're done.
Well,
Don't
I mean,
worry
I
about
think
the-
Zeb Wells. I mean, to be honest, Spider-Man as a title hasn't been. Spider-Man as a title hasn't been good in probably about 5 years. To be perfectly
agree.
honest.
I agree.
So, even and Zeb Wells hasn't been on Spider-Man 5 years. So it's been other guys that have, quote unquote, wrecked Spider-Man. But I also think that they know you're going to go buy it. Spider-Man, like Batman, Superman, and other titles have cult following. Not cult following, but have royal following, and they know you're going to go to the shop regardless of who they put on the book. You're going to buy it, especially if you are a continuity guy. If you are a guy who collects every issue, you're going to buy it, even if you're not reading it. You're going to go buy it, and that's what Marvel know. They have a basically a Spider-Man is their cash cow. They can release T-shirts, they can do merch, they can do a whack comic book. They know you're going to buy Amazing Spider-Man because that book is literally almost, over 900 issues. So, I mean, they're not in a rush to change writers or whatever on it because, again, they know you're going to buy it. Spider-Man, regardless of who's writing and how whack it is one of the top books for Marvel, regardless. So
it's not even just the book. It's like the character. There's certain comic book characters that it's a license to print money. Batman, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's the face of Marvel. We can like Hulk, we can like Thor, we can like Black Panther, whatever. Spider-Man's the face of Marvel, and Marvel goes as Spider-Man goes, which is why of all the characters that have done movies, cartoons, blah blah blah, Spider-Man always will be their successful moneymaker because that's just who that guy is. And then you put in Miles Morales, you have a whole new set of fans, and Sony's bear witness into that. Everybody was so up in praise about the Spider-Man movie. They had all the Spider-Mans in it, or whatever. And we were kind of upset that we didn't get Miles Morales, but Miles Morales was chilling in the animated side and like hold my beer. And when he did show up, it was a very, very phenomenal, movie. And we're waiting on the second one to come out. So, it is what it is. So frustrated if you keep going to the shop buying that book, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I you have my deepest sympathy, but at the same time, I recognize that that's kind of what it is when you follow a character. You want the character you want the books to be good. You want the TV shows, whatever it is, you want it to always be fire. But there are times, ask people that were reading Tom King's Batman. Tom King was on Batman for like nearly 100 issues. It was like 80 or some odd issues. and people lamented the whole time, but they went to the shop and they kept buying Batman regardless. So, you know, it is what it is. And while you're here, guys, please hit the like button. Please hit the like button.
Absolutely.
And
Like
subscribe
button.
if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel and you're watching this for the first time or what have you. Please subscribe. Hit the subscribe button down there. It costs you nothing, but it helps us to keep the show going.
And share.
And share it.
Absolutely share.
Let
Yeah.
Share it with a
everybody.
friend. Share it with an enemy. Share it with somebody you don't know. Who cares? Just share it.
Because if you don't know this already, you know, we are a niche within a niche within a niche. So the only way that, you know, we can continue to connect more like us that want to view this content is to share that word. You know, we're not going to just bump into each other in the street in the comic book shop. So, you know,
that's all we ask. We don't ask.
Word of mouth is our lifeblood.
And if you want to drop us a little change in our pocket, we're not going to say no. Hit the little $sign down there. Drop us a super chat, $1, $2, $10, $100, whatever you got.
I'm one of those people that one of my first comic books was Amazing Spider-Man, and
Yeah.
I buy it whether I like the story or not because I want my run to be complete.
Right.
I picked it up again back in 2018, and I have every single issue from 2018 until today. And then I'm trying to backfill from issue 1, which is very expensive. I'll get there, though. I'll get there.
Yeah, I mean, I found myself, if I look at my CLZ today, the largest part of my collection is still the Amazing Spider-Man, because I've been collecting it since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
And just out of habit, really, lately, the last several years. I stopped collecting it a few years ago because I was reading Miles and I wasn't reading Peter Parker. And bam, frustrated fans in with the pinch hit. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
So
Derek, what do you got for us?
Donation. It's a donation. I thought it was the trash. Don't be hitting on me.
Thank you.
The frustrated fans said it right. We're not just a clique. We're not just a group. We're not just fans. We're family. And that means everything. So thank you very much, sir.
Hey, we got a few comments from Troy Graham. First up, I wish Katt would have mentioned Blue Marvel so we could get a Blue Marvel Disney series.
Would Katt Williams mentioning Blue Marvel have gotten us a Blue Marvel miniseries? I don't know.
It would definitely would have raised the conversation on the net because everybody's talking about him right now.
Yeah.
Can we just give a moment of silence for Blue Marvel?
Oh my God!
Because
every week with this guy.
Listen, that character, I like the character, but that character is dead, literally.
Isn't he in the Thanos right now?
Look, at least Black Goliath was in a comic book getting smashed. We talk about the only time we talk about Blue Marvel, we never talk about, man, did you see Blue Marvel do this? Did you see Blue Marvel do that? No, we say, man, I wish they would put him in a book.
So he got the Thanos. It's like he got the Thanos snap then.
Yeah. Either way, and I love Adam Brashear. Shout out to Kevin Greavy for creating it. And I'm grateful I have those 5 issues in my collection. But the sad part is Marvel has no interest in doing a Blue Marvel show, a Blue Marvel feature, or anything like that. I mean, listen, I'm a comic head. Give me a Blue Marvel comic book.
Thanos.
You can keep your movies.
Are you reading
Thanos? You can keep your movies. You can keep your cartoons. You can keep your guest appearances. Give us a Blue Marvel comic book. How about that?
He's in a comic book though, Rich.
We got a new
I don't care. So is Spider-Man. So is Dupe. You know what Dupe is, right? You know the little little piece of clay that's in the X-Men comic books. Wolverine, he's a mutant, but he's literally goop. But anyway, all of it doesn't. So what? He's in a comic book. He's been in comic books. He got smacked by Silver Sable. That's
All right.
That's your man's claim to fame in the last 5 years. He got stole on by Silver Sable.
Wow.
See what you did, Troy? You see the can of worms you opened.
I'm just saying. We listen. Every week we get on this show. We talk. We usually bring up Blue Marvel for whatever reason, and I like the character, but Marvel is not interested. They just not interested.
How about
They're
that?
not interested in a black Reed Richards. They're not interested. They're gonna keep him in a Parker. They just need to give my man his cape back, give him his helmet back, give us a Blue Marvel comic book. And please, I am not going to be one of these people. If he shows up in Marvel Voices next month,
he won't.
Good. I just want them to do better by the character. Since they don't want to do better by the character, ain't no sense in me talking to them. Talking about it. I'm just saying. You know,
All right.
shout out to all of y'all that went to Ollie's and got them $2.99, the $2.99 action figure.
Talking about him.
Exactly.
All right.
Blerd forever.
We need to acknowledge this. Thank you, Blerd forever. Get your well-deserved sleep. I know it is very late your time, or very early, depending on how you want to view it. So,
yeah, and Blerd forever. I need you to know that package wasn't cheap, bro.
As I said, Rich is a much more generous man than me.
Yeah, it's a shipping to the UK might be not possible next year.
It is now an appropriate time for us to release a disclaimer that for all future giveaways, it will be limited to the continental United States.
Yeah, domestic only.
Here we go.
But we got love for you, Blerd forever.
Yeah.
Respect.
Jack the Gamer.
Yep.
Thank you for your super chat, sir.
Oh, thank you, Jack the Gamer. I missed that one. Let's see what we got.
Whoever the next super chat makes us go into super chat overload.
Uh-oh, we don't want that to happen.
Charles Stewart says, "Why is Blue Marvel your favorite character?" I didn't say he was my favorite character, Charles. He isn't. He isn't. He isn't my favorite character. My favorite character is Black Lightning. We talk about Blue Marvel because we really Blue Marvel is the character we want everybody to like.
Because he's a unicorn.
You know, so they haven't done right by that character since. I won't say Kevin Greavy. I will go back to say the Ultimates too. That run with him, Black Panther, Monica Rambeau, Captain Marvel was pretty cool. Fighting Thanos and fighting Galactus, that was a pretty cool comic. We don't talk about that book at all. But you know.
One of the reasons the Blue Marvel is so cool is because it's one of the few black characters created by a black creator who had their own book. I'm trying to think of a character that was before him that was created by a black creator that had their own book before Blue Marvel. Does anyone know?
Within Marvel, right?
At Marvel.
Nope. He's the only one.
I think he was the first one. He's not the only one, but he was certainly the first one because Shuri was created by Reggie Hudlin, and she had her own book. But I think that was after his. He was in 2005, and Shuri was like 2006 or 7 or so. So yeah,
Troy, thank you also. Yeah, thank you for sharing. And it looks like we're getting an invitation to maybe join Troy's podcast, the Troy Graham Experience. So, hey, send us some information about it. Email us at blackcomiclords@gmail.com, and we'll definitely follow up with you. We'll check it out.
Frustrated says, any black character they feel is out, they don't use them anymore. Maybe the Return of Sentry will have appear in the book.
I'd love to see him kick Sentry's ass in the book.
Well,
Would be great.
didn't the King in Black cut Century in half, or was that Hyperion?
There's a new century or centuries.
I'm just saying, dude was literally on the page like he was literally on the page like 5 seconds incoming, and he just literally just cut old boy in half. So shout out to everybody that read the King in Black. All 5 of y'all.
I read the Black Panther King in Black.
Okay, so
Top
so
10
John
Black
Styles
Panther
is
stories of all
answering.
time.
John Styles is answering the question. I guess Ghostlight. Do you? Okay, this is an argument.
On the
Was
shelf.
Ghostlight? Yeah.
Blue Marvel,
Ghostlight.
Ghostlight, Mosaic.
What do all three of these characters have in common other than the fact they're on the shelf?
Black men.
They were all created by Black creators.
Yes.
And they all had their own book.
True.
Yes.
Did Jeffrey Thorne create Mosaic?
He did. He did.
Well, I mean, Ghostlight, to be fair, Ghostlight just ended, y'all. Y'all, yeah.
And he brand new too.
And he'll be back in the Marvel Voices next month. Well, at least he's on the cover. I don't know if he's in the story. You know how they might Nightcrawler, Night Thrasher him, Richard,
Oh dang.
to bring up a sore subject for Richard.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna leave that alone. What up? Moment of silence for Blue Marvel. We about to witness the cremation of the comic book industry. Listen, let me.
Here we
First
go.
of all, shout out to behind the scenes.
Trying to trigger again.
Shout out to Dion. Shout out to Dion and our love, our favorite troll Herschel. They did a show.
Dion and Herschel trying to out troll each other.
They did a show. Herschel is hilarious. That's all I'm gonna say. Herschel is hilarious. They did a show, and it was a pretty good show. I enjoyed that, Dion. Shout out to y'all, man, over there behind the scenes. And go check them guys out, man. Give them a follow. They pretty dope. But yeah, that was a pretty good show. Talking about your man's Black Panther, among other things. So it was pretty good though.
Yeah, John Jennings definitely should have got a run with Ghostlight and had this story last a lot longer than he did. I love that character. I'm absolutely like all for it. He
clearly wrote a story that should have been about 8 issues.
Yes, agreed.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was cool for what it was. I mean, like I said, it could have gone longer, but I think that he was able to put a lot of stuff in the issues that he did have. Let's just be honest, guys. It's Black character, Black creator. We're gonna love it. Others won't. And I'm gonna just be honest. I think the melanated challenged in the fandom. They recognize that they're not going to talk about it because they're going to assume it's not for them. Yeah. For whatever reason, they see Black faces and just figure it's not for them, even though they love Black culture and all that good stuff that goes with it. I don't understand that logic, but it is what it is. So
people like to borrow Black culture.
And I understand that logic when you spend your entire society making sure only yourself is the center. When you see something that's not of your center that you think should be there, it's about me, and it's something else, it becomes jarring. It becomes, well, it's not about me, so then it's not for me. It's pretty simple.
It's weird though to me though, because a story in and of itself, if it's not culturally based, anybody can enjoy it. I mean, we love Lord of the Rings. We love all this European stuff. We love Japanese anime. We don't really. I mean, should we be more racist? Let me just ask that question.
No. Okay, so us
Black
being
people can't be
original
racist.
human, no, never. We are open-minded. We're willing to experience.
I'm just saying, should we be culturally racist? I'm just saying. I'm just asking questions.
Well, no.
I'm being facetious, Angel.
I
I'm not
know,
really
I
saying
know.
that, okay?
I'm just saying out
Johnson,
loud.
no, Rich. I'm just saying. Look, people have this thing. Why is it that black people, the only people that we can be proud, we can be unapologetically black, right? But we can't be 100% all in, nothing else. We have to, are y'all gonna really make me put cream in my coffee? I'm just asking.
No, never.
If you
don't
wish
need
to join the Illuminati, it seems to be a prerequisite, per what Katt Williams has just revealed to us this week, which leads to our next topic. Mr. Katt Williams set the internet on fire.
Well, I think the litmus test is a man in a dress. Isn't that the litmus
test? That is part of the Illuminati requirement. You have to wear a dress. You have to marry a certain type of woman. And then you will be guaranteed at least $10 million off.
Well, he was saying 50. I turned down 50 4 times. Four times.
Look.
That was what's so much. Interesting about Katt Williams is the fact that, a week later, 38 million views later, the response of the people he put on blast has been deafening in its quietness.
Crickets. Yes, crickets.
No
lies have been told.
No one has refuted. Those people who have been put on blast have not refuted.
They ain't touching
anything that he said. In fact, you see more videos pop up every day of people saying, "Yeah, he's absolutely correct. That I was there, and that's exactly how it happened."
I don't know. I mean, he said some things, but there was definitely a lot of cap in that interview. Now, put it like this here. I think that he is somebody that definitely knows where a few few bodies are buried. I definitely believe that the situation with Bernie Mac. I do believe that.
Yeah. I agree. I believe that too. I've only seen two big major comedians in my life as far as do stand up in person. Eddie Murphy and Bernie Mac. The only two that I've ever paid money to go see in concert. And Bernie Mac was probably, of all the kings of comedy, definitely the funniest one. Great storyteller. And these guys are competitive and they get jealous of one another. And, shout out to Katt. He got some stuff off his chest. I don't know if it's going, I mean, shoot, he burnt the internet up. I'll say it like that. But,
you said you're not sure how much of that is accurate or true. What do you question the veracity of?
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about.
What Cornelius got one of them, 3,000 books in a year when he's a kid.
If you don't have the television and you don't have the internet,
3,000 books. Hold on. 3,000 books in a year, Paul.
Mm-hmm. If you spend 8 hours a day, 7 days a week in a library because you're homeless for a year, and that's where you have, because you're living in Miami on the streets, and the place where you have air conditioning and access to a free bathroom, and you don't have to worry about being stabbed in the middle of the day, is the library.
He said that he didn't read those 3,000 books when he was homeless as a kid. He read those 3,000 books when he was at home.
So
with his family.
I think what you're missing, because I was an avid reader from very small. Some avid readers do have the ability to speed read. I used to. I don't anymore, but I used to be able to speed read, which is a different pace than the normal reading sequence, where some people may go through a few pages. Some can clear 20, 30 pages in a lot less time than the average person.
I mean, it could be true. It could be everything he said could be true. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. However, you know, we have seen the Katt Williams show, and at the Katt Williams show, when he is on point, he's very, very entertaining. And then there are times we're like, Katt, what you doing? So I'm not saying that he didn't tell 100% the truth. I think that he embellished the truth in some regards. I think that 3,000 books is embellished. You know, I have a library. I have a lot of comic books, and some days I can read 10 comic books. And then there are days I can't get through half a comic book before I'm asleep. You know what I'm saying? I and I'm not comparing myself to Katt Williams. I'm just saying that some of the stuff that he said, it was so I think that a lot of it was he was being facetious. You know, he is an entertainer, he is a comedian. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how can you take everything he says serious? I'll say it like that.
You don't.
You don't take everything you say is serious, but I mean, without going into nitpicking over the details, is it 1,000 or is it 3,000? At the core of the things that he said, I can't find anything that I would question as being an out and out lie. I think, yeah, there are some things he might have embellished for the sake of comedy, but the majority of when he's making key marks, key statements, those things have not been proven as being wrong.
And a lot of people have been able to pull receipts in reference to a lot of things that he said. So there's that.
Receipts are popping up if you go on YouTube after you're done with this show and look up Katt Williams reactions or receipts, Google that. They're all out there. People supporting what he said. Yeah, here's the receipts. He absolutely is correct.
Congrats again, Mark. Glad you got
Mark said I received my prize box from you. Thank you. You're most welcome, sir. You're most welcome. I mean, again, whatever, Katt. That's all I'm gonna say. For real. Because at the end of the day, Katt. Listen, Katt Williams hijacked the zeitgeist for a couple of days, and we're gonna go on to move to something else at some point. And it's like, wow, at the beginning of the year, it would be like, we go to year in review and we revisit this conversation. I don't know how much this is going to kind of ripple out. And Steve Harvey, he took a lot of slugs and towards Steve Harvey. And, no one's going to feel sorry for Steve Harvey because, he's got 50 jobs and, he's doing his thing. I don't know. I mean, it's a weird thing, but it's the internet though. It's the internet. I think that's the one thing that kind of like filters for me in terms of like how serious can we really take any of this stuff? It's the internet. So the fact that he could go on a show like Shannon Sharp and say the things he said, how outlandish that was, some of that, if we're being honest, it's like, okay, you're not afraid to say the things that you say. Maybe it is true. But if some of that stuff he says is not true and it's about some of these people, you can best believe somebody hollering at their lawyer right now.
I don't know.
Exactly. Well, look, have we heard anything about any lawsuits since this thing dropped?
Is the thing.
It's still early, Paul.
A lot of the stuff that though, you're not remembering. This is a comprise on Shannon's show of all stuff he said separately over the last 10, 15 years. So that's where the receipts are coming from. So what he would nugget here and there in each show, he comprised in that show with Shannon. So he's just reiterating what he's already let out or what he witnessed to. So this is not new stuff either. Some of it may be a little bit newer, but not very much.
Here's the thing, and I'll put on my lawyer hat for a second.
Uh-oh.
Do you know what the absolute defense to a defamation claim is?
It's true.
Very well. Very, very good, Derek. That it's true. So for anyone to bring a case against him for defamation, say what you have said, Katt Williams, is untrue and it's causing me damage to my career and my life, what have you. All he's got to do is pull out the receipts.
Right.
And he wins.
Right.
And if they, and I don't understand when you bring a defamation suit.
So let me ask you this: do you think he has a contract?
You have to be prepared to have those receipts aired out on a public record.
Yes.
So you think he has in his contracts that if he's in the movie with Ricky Smiley got to wear a dress? His contract.
I don't know if he meant all
That's
his
what he
contracts.
said.
I think he was simply referring to the contract he had with that film that he did with Ricky Smiley.
All right, Dion.
You know what? I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going to church and worshiping Jesus. Y'all go ahead and follow the Church of Katt. See where that gets y'all.
Follow.
It'll keep me laughing. That's for certain.
Until there's the actual dispute, it's accepted. That's all that's happening.
What Marvel character needs to spill the tea like Katt? That's easy.
Bring up the chair. Is there a lot of difference between a Katt Williams comedy show and going to a mega church?
Huh?
I think there's a big difference, but I don't.
Is there a difference between a Katt Williams comedy show and going to a mega church?
I don't even know how you put those two thoughts together, but I will simply say it's like, no, it's not the same thing.
I'm not talking about your church. I'm
talking
about your church, Rich. I'm talking about those mega churches that are clearly more about making money than they are about the word of God.
What's that one, Reverend Dollar?
I'm not calling names. Look, hey, Miss Politician, we don't drop names. We don't have a whole bevy of lawyers to protect us, so let's not drop any names. We're not trying to deal with any defamation lawsuits right now. We ain't got that Katt Williams budget. We got $15 in the super chat. That's it. We don't have 15 million. We got 15.
Well, the last thing we need is them folk out there in Atlanta to be trolling us. Oh no.
Now Frustrated's jumped on the bandwagon. Dion's gotten them started.
Steam gives us the tea. Charles Xavier has a school for mutant kids. Wow.
You already know the one character that, speaking of X books, that was created to spill the tea, and that was Danger. Does anyone read X-Men comic books? Remember the character Danger, which was the Danger Room manifested as a robot?
Oh,
wow. And the Danger Room attacked the X-Men, and they're like, "Why are you attacking us? You've been with us since we were kids." And she's like, "Yeah, I know where all the bodies are buried. I know Charles's secrets."
Earth 616.
Dion.
What's Dion doing?
Dion out of line.
Wow.
Jarvis is probably the Katt Williams for real on the cool.
We really need to bring Dion on the show one day just for the comedic relief, or see who can out troll the other, him or Herschel. Creflo. Frustrated out here dropping names. No, we're not dropping names. All right.
I was asking a question.
You dropped the name. You got everybody in the chat talking now, dropping the same name.
Go back to that. I get that no one wants to be stolen from, but I used to watch a lot of comic view and there were tons of comics ripping off Eddie Murphy charges to the gang. Well, I mean, there's an old saying that, you can't call yourself a comic if you didn't take anything from Richard Pryor, which is pretty much what they all did. Those that decided to do blue comic or blue humor, if I can say it like that. In my opinion, and it's just my opinion, there are Eddie Murphy, Bernie Mac, Bill Cosby, as far as my top 5 comedians. Man, I'm having a hard time.
Chris Rock.
No,
And
Chris is not even top
You said
5.
Bernie
Chris
Mac?
is not even top 5. Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle.
Oh,
Dave Chappelle,
yes.
definitely.
Dave Chappelle, and probably George Carlin for the top 5.
Okay.
And most of those guys, if not all of them, are storytellers. And so,
I'd throw in also Robin Williams.
yeah, and Robin Williams was a pretty dope comedian.
Oh yeah, he was exceptional. His adult shows, I love those.
So grandson, Michael Collier. Michael Collier is dope. I remember seeing Michael Collier do stand up in
Y'all don't
Sunset.
the initiation rites for the Avengers and wonder why certain characters won't.
Wow.
There's a reason there's a comic book called the Illuminati, y'all.
That's funny.
Paul Mooney, though.
Why do you think T'Challa, when they formed the Illuminati, T'Challa's like, nah, I'm good. Y'all need to end this here, and walked out of the
You're not
room.
a Chevy Chase fan. Chevy Chase. I mean, I like his movies. I like the movies that he's in. Caddyshack is a classic. Caddyshack is a classic.
But Paul,
Did
what
this
about
dude
Paul?
actually say Godfrey? Come on, man. Seriously?
Godfrey's new. He's real new, and he's different. I've seen his show. Actually, last summer I went to his show, and it was good, but it's not on the level of the great.
You know what? Godfrey would be good at the old folks' home.
Oh my God! I think
Because he
That's not a compliment.
He literally screams in his humor. You have to turn him down because he just be so loud. I'm like, come on, bro, chill. I'm like, I'm right here.
Ooh, when Cat Williams said TD Jakes and Puffy, man, I about fell out my chair.
Why none of y'all like Paul Mooney though? Like
Paul Mooney.
Yeah, Paul Mooney's up there too.
Oh,
Paul Mooney is dope. I mean, his he created Homie the Clown and Living Color. He wrote for Richard Pryor. He's got some classic material that his one of his first albums he did, Race, is a classic.
Yes.
It's a classic album. So yeah, I like Paul Mooney. But here's the thing about Paul Mooney. Paul Mooney's comedy is borderline. It's funny, but it's borderline, like very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
He tells a little bit too much truth at some of the stuff he say.
He tells a little too much truth in what he says.
Yeah, I remember matter of fact, when I saw Eddie Murphy, when I saw Eddie Murphy, Paul Mooney opened up for him, and he told the joke that's actually on the Race soundtrack. He talked about the word, the N word, and he says if you could say it real fast, you can clean your teeth.
I remember that.
Paul Mooney can drop a singular line that is so cutting, it could ruin your career. He said, Wayne Brady makes Bryant Gumbel appear black.
Yes.
That one line made Wayne Brady feel like his career was over, like he was embarrassed.
Yes.
That he went on the Dave Chappelle show and did a skit to prove how black he was. And it ended up becoming one of my favorite skits ever on the Dave Chappelle show. Wayne Brady got to kill it. I mean, look.
I mean, look.
That was one of the best skits of all time.
Well, see, when you straddle that's what happens though when you get affirmation from the white side. There's always that thought, okay, who's another one? I'm trying to think. Alfonso Ribeiro. When Alfonso Ribeiro got a lot of love from a lot of white people said that he wasn't black enough, and then his character on Carlton on the Fresh Prince didn't really help the situation.
Yeah.
He was almost triggered in a sense. It's like, okay, Carlton, chill. We're not saying you're not black, but you do got some tendencies that, don't rock at the cookout. But, I mean, Wayne Brady I like Wayne Brady. Wayne Brady's, I liked him as when he played, Gravedigger in the Black Lightning show. He was pretty good as that.
Fan for collecting. Charlie Murphy is a storyteller. Rest in peace to Charlie Murphy.
Yes, Charlie.
Charlie Murphy, darkness. Good God. Let me tell you, that Dave Chappelle show was, oh my God, it was decades ahead of its time.
Yep.
Klager says, I miss Robin Harris. That's another brother whose career ended when it was reaching its peak.
Yeah.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough of the comedic Black comic lord experience. Let's move to another subject. Can we talk about Jonathan Majors?
Oh,
haven't we already talked about this dude already?
Yeah, we talked about it last week.
Oh no, we ain't talked about the interview.
Yeah, he had that interview.
I haven't watched the interview.
Let me just take 30 seconds to roast Jonathan Majors.
Let me say one thing. I didn't watch the interview, but this is one thing I was able to observe, which is why I didn't watch the interview. Jonathan Majors has his verdict come out. Within an hour, Disney sends out press releases he's been fired.
Yeah.
Within several days after that, he's booked on an interview on ABC, who was owned by who? Owned by Disney.
Yes.
So Disney fires him and is making money off of firing him.
Yes.
And he's cool with that.
Hey, I don't think he was paying attention.
Am I getting this right, or
yes,
am I crazy?
Absolutely right.
I don't. You know what? I will say this. I think that the thing about the Jonathan Majors, as far as that situation goes, I think that it's par for the course. Let me tell you why. Because he said something in the interview that was like, okay, will you think you ever work in Hollywood again? He's like, yeah, sure. Leave Majors alone. That brother's beyond crispy. Yeah, he's been roasted for real.
Shout out to Charles.
I gotta listen. He said that making good held him down like Coretta Scott King. You just compared.
Wait, I thought that was Gabby who was the Coretta, or was she Betty Shabazz?
He wasn't doing that job, and that's where the speech came from. And then the lady that now was the one he was texting and got him in trouble to run from the other one. So it was a whole triangle.
Oh.
All I know is that you running from a white woman.
Yes.
But the sister hold you down like Coretta. Okay.
Oh, well.
Oh God. What are you putting out here?
Okay.
Dion?
Okay. We. I mean, listen. Celebrities are not your friends, guys.
The entertainment. They're entertainment.
It's entertainment. That it has to. You need a real role model in your life. A librarian, a doctor, a lawyer.
Us, right?
A member of the clergy, not a mega church pastor. You need somebody. Please do not look at these people like they are something to be emulated. They are not. They are just as jacked up as everybody. I mean, think about it. You go from being on the cover of Ebony magazine. I should have listened. Jonathan Majors was in trouble when he was on the cover of Ebony. I knew he was in trouble then. And some people were saying, well, look what he got on. I was like, yeah, that is a little strange. Some of you brothers, y'all take the gender bending, gender fluid stuff too far.
Here we go. We need a disclaimer, Derek.
You take it too far.
Derek,
you take it too far. Listen, where are polo shirts?
Still going, Derek.
Where are people? Look, wear a pink polo shirt. Wear a nice dress shirt. Pink is cool. Jesus. You can wear pink, but do not be splashed all over talking about. He said, "Here now, Rich. we loved you in Creed. You had your 6-pack all out. You was the next scene we see you running.
He's still going.
He's modeling. He was modeling. Don't take that from him.
He was modeling, but he's not a role model.
Oh.
I'm just saying, black men, don't put yourself in this situation. Find you a nice melanated black woman to spend your time with, to cultivate. Let's bring back black love. Did you really have to get nearly canceled running from a white woman?
Running far.
Charles Stewart, good point, Charles.
I'm like, is this 12 years a slave? What is this? He was running for his freedom. Did he get some ABC all dignified? She was my Coretta. Okay.
He was running from the kryptonite, man. He's running from the kryptonite.
Y'all gonna learn. Y'all gonna learn.
Dion, what's wrong with wearing pink and being shirtless? Oh, boy.
Yeah, that part, Dion.
They don't make brothers the way they used to.
But look, shout out to Jonathan Majors. I hope you bounce back, bro, for real. Because man, look, shout out to Jonathan Majors. I hope.
Sorry.
You got an echo.
Trying to get some more views there. I appreciate it.
Can't undo Kane running down the street. We can't. Look, bro, you took that L. You got to take that L. Black men all over talk about, what are you doing? Like, see, that's what happened when you think you can go over there and visit Miss Barbara. Stay home.
I want to remind everybody, if you are laughing, like and share. Let's have everyone laugh with us as we having a good time today.
There you go.
Message.
Try to say I'm sorry. I'm not being. Listen, I'm just observing this thing. I'm just observing these things that are happening in real time.
Troy Graham's getting into the Troy game now.
See, Paul, you can relate to this. Paul grew up in Brooklyn.
Don't bring me into your madness.
No, Paul, you grew up in Brooklyn. I'm pretty sure you saw a lot of shenanigans on the train, going to school, going to
Brooklyn. Yes.
So I'm just saying that when you see that, though, what do you do when you see it? Do you be if you're a real New Yorker, the answer is I saw nothing because I didn't pay attention to it. It's none of my business. Okay.
Now you laughing on the inside. Dying laughing on the inside.
Yeah. All I know is we saw Kane running down the street.
Frustrated fans
running from his ball.
Kang, but not white woman conqueror. No.
Oh, okay, you overloaded the super chat on that one.
That's an overload. That's an overload for that comment alone.
Overload. Yeah, I gotta find it. Did you hide this one, Paul? No.
Oh God, the chat's on fire tonight, y'all.
Yeah,
y'all.
here we go. Okay,
the whole chat is on one tonight.
Thank you, frustrated.
I know, like
I have to give the chat a disclaimer. I have to create a disclaimer for this chat.
For the chat.
The chat
yes.
needs its own disclaimer.
No,
do I need to make one right now?
No, see the chat. No, see there. The chat is supposed to be disrespectful.
That's what you need, Derek. You need a video that says "so disrespectful."
So anyway, I mean, look, shout out to Jonathan Majors. Hope you land on your feet, bro. You got a beautiful sister on your arm now. You know,
Stand on his feet.
you know,
Jonathan Majors, brother. I can tell you, in my legal opinion, you better strap yourself in. Better, you about to get the civil lawsuits coming your way.
Yes.
Just pay it quick.
Yes, because he did have 2 convictions out of the 4. Oh, she wants his money.
That's what the criminal
too
lawsuits are about. It's about
much.
the
He
civil
stood over
lawsuits, not
her.
about the criminal lawsuit.
He lectured her,
Mhm.
and she thought that was putting her somewhere, but it just made her look more stupid. But yeah, she's coming for his money.
She's
He
coming
got
for the
out of
money.
Yep. He got out of his box, and she mad about it.
Hey, guess what
That's
time it
it.
is?
bro.
Look at Dion's comment.
Oh, hold on.
He went from Kang the Conqueror to the Vanilla Bandit. Oh Lord.
Yes.
So, want to highlight anything that's come up in the Black comic lores community lately, Paul?
Let's check out what people are talking about on the page.
It's been kind of quiet lately. I don't think it's been really a whole lot of shenanigans on the page. Been some cool stuff though.
What we got going on?
There was a Fast Willie Jackson, man, at #1. It was like over $300, 9.8, I think it was.
Oh.
Yeah. Going for a little bread.
It's good to see something selling for.
Yeah, some decent money.
Ooh,
Let's
super
see.
chat.
Here we go. Black Comic Lords. How did we get
Another
to
super chat,
46.7 thousand members?
Hey, we get.
Because we work hard.
Hey, one more super chat, Paul. Thank you, frustrated.
Thank you. Appreciate that. All right.
Yes,
So what y'all talking about? Sam Wilson, long live Cap. Did Steve Rogers die?
No.
Sam Wilson, long live Cap.
I
That
mean,
sounds long live the lies? Is that what that means? Because that's like 2 messages.
Falcon needs to go find himself. What's this all about?
Ain't that a new comic coming out?
Brian Hawkins.
Brian Hawkins.
Sometimes you just have to dunk on your opponents in basketball and life. From Mad Cave Studios, young adult imprint. Writer Brian Hawkins, artist Ignacio DeMeglio. So this is a new Brian Hawkins book.
Oh, okay.
All right, and what's it called again, just in case anybody wants to check it out?
It's called
Missing the name.
I don't know.
Got to see more.
Maverick,
I don't know.
original graphic novel.
I'll see if I can look it up quickly.
It looks like this dude's a vampire. He's got fangs and ears.
Or he might be a werewolf.
Or maybe he's a werewolf. I don't know.
Look like something y'all gonna tell me about. That's what
Now here's interesting. Tony Cottrell dropped this, that map of Advent Comics' path in 2024 begins to take shape as Mario Gully clocks in with a cover of Agents Blackfire and Ether for the Advent Comics 15th anniversary project in August.
Oh, wow.
Takeover starts here as we come to the rest of the world. And let's check out this art from Mario Gully, who's the creator of The Ant. Original Black character created by a Black creator. The first one Image had.
Yeah.
The first Black creator at Image.
Actually, it was Arcana. It was the first. Then he went to Image.
But then he went to Image, but he still was Image's first Black creator that created his own character.
Right.
That had their own series.
Nice.
So that's dope.
Yeah.
He was also one of our first interviews that we did at Black Comic Lords. This is a dope picture right here.
That's what's up.
This let's see if I get it all in one shot.
So why does T'Challa have drawers? Like,
Why does T'Challa what?
He has the little
girdle. You got a girdle.
Like the Superman drawers. Like, what is that?
Why does he have
Underoos.
shorts?
Is that
Oh yeah,
That's a sash.
Like
That's a
underoos.
sash.
Oh,
Man,
looks like some
listen.
underoos to me.
Like
Look.
that just caught me a little off guard. Like why?
Paul, did you have underoos?
It was a tiny white.
You don't ask me that on live? Yes, I had underoos.
Yes.
This
That
one.
was
Chat,
a little-
chat. Type
that was-
one
that was a little-
if you remember underoos. Put a 1 in chat, please.
that was a little personal. Okay.
That was a little personal. Derek put me on blast yet again because this is what he does.
Hey, I was
Derek,
follow on this cover, okay?
look, Dion and Herschel are trying to out troll each other, but Derek is like my own personal troll.
Aww.
So this is a dope picture. I mean, think of the concept. It's Black Avengers, but there's Black Widow, who's there because her name has black in it. Which, okay,
What is it? Equality and inclusion? Is that what they call it now?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what.
I mean,
this-
for the most part, that's what that is, because you got to have that. That's why there are no black books at Marvel. The last one was your boy.
Oh, so we all know who Ivan Velez Jr. is, right? One of the original writers on Marvel,
Yes.
on Milestone Comics. So this is what he had to say when the Milestone Third Compendium came up. Let's bring this out.
Milestone Books is
Hold on, let me pull it.
Can
you hear this when he talks?
Okay, I just received the third compilation of Milestone in the mail. I get my 2 comps. Although my name is not on the cover. I have my static run. My static run of Milestone Books is in the compilation, as well as some of my Blood Syndicate run up to 25, I believe, but no credit. So the love fest between me and Milestone continues. No royalties, no payments, no reprint payments. Just these 2 free books, and that's it. I don't know. I don't even know why they bother sending that to me. If my name's not on the cover of credits, then how is this useful to me? Milestone, you're real champs.
That
I did
makes
not know
me
that.
sad.
That makes me
That's
irate.
disrespectful.
It
I
is.
love Milestone to my core. I love Milestone, the original Milestone comics, to my core. My favorite comics of all time. But Ivan Velez was a big part of that success.
Yeah, it was.
Blood Syndicate was his biggest contribution. He also had a long run on Static. To not even have the man's name on the book, where the majority of his work is in.
Yes.
That's beyond shade. That's hella disrespectful. There's just no excuse for it. I don't care what legal beef you have with the dude. I don't care about, well, if we put his name, we'll have to pay him, 25 cents a book or whatever. That's this from a creative standpoint, as creators, as being in a business of dealing with creative people, there's just no excuse for that. That's beyond disrespect. Everybody who's in that book, who has their name on that cover, should say something to whoever's in charge about how one of their fellow creators is being disrespected like that. That's shameful. And
I want to add,
that shouldn't stand.
I don't know if this is the same circumstance as Velez, but if you're a creator and you go to a big name, they will often ask for your 100% IP in exchange to publish. Don't freaking do it. Always keep the majority ownership. If you got to sell a little piece, fine. But never sell 100% of your IP of what you created, because stuff like Blue Marvel, stuff like that happens because they know that they're waving the dollar in front of you. Believe in your creations. Keep majority ownership all the time. That's just my advice.
I mean, keep your 51%.
Well, I mean, I think that with this situation, though, I'm gonna just call a spade a spade. Milestone is on one, and I feel like until they do right by Alvin Velez, all of the reprint stuff that they're doing is a slap in the face. If he's not getting any royalties from his work, this is his man. This is his work. This is his work. His credits for what he did with Milestone in terms of Blood Syndicate and Static are on the covers of those books. So there's no reason why his name should not be on the cover of that compendium. Again, we going back and forth about who really owns Milestone. Is Milestone owned by Milestone, or is Milestone owned by DC?
Right.
I don't want to think that the brass at Milestone are that petty.
Yes, they are.
Or that blind.
I can't believe that. I can't. I think.
But the fact that they're sending him books, these books come directly from them. This is not
of his work. Of his work.
Yes.
No,
but don't have his name on it.
No, you got.
That's like literally sticking their middle finger to the guy.
You got to look at it for what it is. That was a purposeful slap in the face. He called it the way exactly how it is. They didn't put his name on it. They don't pay him for it. But here's the book with your stuff on it without your name. That's on purpose.
Yeah, that's.
There's no pretending here. It is what it is. It's exactly what he said it was. We saw it.
I feel bad for the dude.
Sad day in Dakota.
The Blood Syndicate in particular. Part of what Milestone got their accolades for was being 30 years ahead of the game when it comes to the LGBTQ community.
Yeah.
Right? He created characters, transgender characters, gay characters in a mainstream book before anyone else even thought of doing stuff like that. Before there was a name for it.
Yeah.
Before there was a quote unquote LGBTQ TIA plus community, he was doing it in this book and he made it work. And that's what Milestone is part of their accolades for being famous for. But it was this dude who did it.
Yeah.
It gets no credit for that.
It is what it is.
That's insane.
It is
absolutely insane.
What it is.
That hurts my heart to see that. That man
deserves it. Is Rodney Barnes a partner at Image? I don't know if he's a partner. I don't think he is, but I think he does own the people that work that do books at Image. They own that IP. That's one of the unique things about going to Image, that you own your IP.
Yeah, they don't try to vulture it from you.
No. So he could literally take Philadelphia, Nita Hall, or somewhere else if he wanted.
Yeah. Image is one of the good companies, and just a little tidbit, the staff at Image is unionized, just so you know, one of the unique publishers that have a union, so everybody's paid well.
Oh.
Wow. Okay. So normally I call Herschel out for being a troll and putting out useless posts, but he might have a little point on this one. Let's pull this up. Let's back this up. Here we go. Now it doesn't want to play.
Of course not. You did something.
Oh my days. They ain't even hiding anymore. They are blatantly showing you what's going on behind closed doors. In fact, it's not even behind closed doors. This is some frontline action. The eyes are useless when the mind is blind.
Now understand what he's put out here, right? This is the cover for the new DC Power book. I'm looking forward to reading it. A lot of cool characters. A lot of Black creators on this book, notable ones, up-and-coming ones, veteran ones. This cover was done by Dennis Cowan, the GOAT, who we're all a big fan of. But I wonder if this was some shade by Dennis subtly. I wonder, because as pointed out here, this is a homage to this picture from the 1968 Olympics, I believe, right?
Yes.
And you've got, one, well, in this picture, you've got these white fellows down here in the front, these three. And and these three over here in the front, these are the legacy characters that are originally based on white original characters. And the two in the back, the two black men with the fist in the air, are the ones that are original black characters. You got to wonder if Dennis did that on purpose.
It's worth a tweet.
That's why he put it out there. So shout out to Herschel. You actually you pointed out something that's actually kind of interesting.
I don't get it.
How do you not get that? I just explained
You
it.
just do some backhanded shade at Herschel, though.
That's
I'm
not
not saying I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean,
there's our president.
Hey, the eyes are useless when the mind is blind. I tried to tell. Hey, my guy's been trying to warn y'all for the last 3 months, man. I don't listen, man.
Somebody should have warned him with his toothbrush, that gold tooth.
Listen, since Paul peaked it, y'all didn't peak. I'm gonna talk to Paul. Paul, man, this something something going on, bro. Something going on, bro.
Dennis, as I said, Dennis Cowan did this, so I gotta wonder if he did this intentionally.
Well, I mean, my man Jefferson Pierce is the GOAT. He's the older character. He's number one. He's on the number one platform.
Right.
Then Static is next to him,
which is Dennis's co-creator of.
Yeah. I can't see number 5.
Number 5 is Flash, Kid Flash.
Okay.
Number 2
that's the legacy character.
Number 2 is Aqualad.
Yep, legacy character.
Look at.
And
Flash.
number 1 is
listen, he literally took the same image and he threw a little power fist in front of it. But Flash's head, but number 5, his head is straightforward. His head is down. Remember, the 2 black guys' head are down.
Right.
What is Black Lightning? And listen, he put those guys there on purpose, man. I said what I said. Tell him to DM me. He put them there on purpose.
I mean,
I don't doubt it. I mean,
he put them there on purpose. People have been putting things in movies, TV, books for hundreds of years. Subliminal messages.
Well, I'll say this. I had no interest in buying the DC Power book, and I'm just being honest.
What? Jump off the line.
No. Hold on, Herschel. Let me. This is actually something you said on when you was hanging out with Dion when you was at Trolls. You and Dion were cutting up the other day. You said that there are books that we buy about the covers. Now, I'm going to buy this based on the cover. I like the cover, but I have no interest in the content on the inside. Now they may listen. They may impress me. But I have yet to see them do that when it comes to the DC Power stuff. This will be the 3rd year they're doing DC Power stuff, right?
Yep. Yes. Yep.
So again, and I ask you guys specifically, what stories from the DC Power books in the last couple of years that you could say, you know what, that was fire?
The only one that I can say that Milestone did the one with Malcolm X.
No. I'm not talking about Milestone. We're talking about DC.
Milestone and DC are 2 different entities. I'll keep saying that.
Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not.
Wayne is hilarious.
Sometimes they're not.
Wayne said, how do you not get it? It's a direct. Wayne, that's like literally Captain Obvious. I got the sentiment. I'm saying.
I got it.
I got the reference. I really did. When I said I don't get it, I'm like, when you pointed the stuff out, I was like, okay, what is he really trying to say? I get the that it's an homage to the 1968 Olympics. I got that, but I'm like, beyond that, what else is there? What else are they trying to say to us? That's all. That's what I was getting at.
But Herschel literally explained it right here, where you have the original black characters are the two black athletes in the back at the top.
Wait,
Number
Paul,
one and number two.
Paul. Hold on, Paul. Rich, go to the kitchen. Pour yourself up a glass of water. I left a red pill on your desk. Take the red pill and drink the water. That's the only way you're going to get it, man. That's the only way you're going to get it, man.
You funny. You funny. You're funny.
Herschel's on fire tonight.
Hey, I try to stay off because I know if I come on, something's going to happen.
Yeah.
But listen, this is a nice cover, but he's telling us something. And DC not smart enough to figure it out.
Of course.
Yeah.
Not.
Look, understand.
They don't care.
Normally, I be on the Herschel's a conspiracy nut guy with the tinfoil hat. Ignore him. But I agree with you this time, Herschel. I think Dennis Cowan did this intentionally, and it is a subtle message.
The characters are all in the exact order and position.
Head orientation, whole nine.
Right.
Come on,
I think this is completely intentional. I think he's leaving a little message, subtle message here.
Listen, how many of y'all believe in coincidences? I don't believe in coincidences. I also don't think that people are out here plotting. Come on, I get that, but come on, man. He knew that certain individuals over time was going to get this. I happen to look at this and say, this kind of reminds me of 1968. I go to 1968 picture. The eyes are useless, I guess. Because
listen, I get the sentiment. I guess for me, the thing is, okay, so you have Black Lightning on the top, and which is where he's supposed to be, because that's my guy.
Wow.
You're not gonna poo-poo on my guy, Herschel.
That's why I don't understand how you don't get it, because this is
do get it, Paul. I do get it, but I was looking for something. Listen, I get it. I was looking for something more. Maybe if I study it a little bit long, I'm surface level. I can see what the thing is, but I'm just looking for something else. Maybe when I get the cover, I'll be able to discover it.
There's probably some other stuff.
I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, so
there's probably some other stuff out there. But here's the thing. I'm gonna tell y'all something. You guys are everybody that's on this live with us tonight, for the most part, are probably serious comic heads to a certain extent. And all you guys that's on the panel are comic heads. You all see things every day, but y'all like, nah, I'm not even gonna go there.
Okay, I just see something. Listen. John Stiles says DC Black Text $9.99. Is that book $9.99?
Oh, here we go.
Oh yeah.
Because if it's
why y'all purposely triggering?
Because if it is $9.99, I'm gonna leave that sucker in the store. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna be capped. I'm gonna take a picture of it. I'm gonna take a picture of it, post it in Black Comic Lords.
Don't be that guy.
But they always overprice our stuff when it's something
the black text.
Now that's the conspiracy right there.
No, it's only conspiracy if there's not facts behind it. There's actual truth to the black text.
That is historic. When it's diversity, the price goes up.
Can somebody please look up that book and see how much that book is going for real?
Yeah, they're saying it is. The chat is saying it is $9.99.
I'm gonna look it up.
All right, wait a minute. How many pages?
It's a double-sized issue though, Rich.
I don't care, Herschel. The double size, what 44 pages?
Listen, they're gonna take a hit anyways, because you're gonna have a lot of black people that's gonna show up in May. Man, where'd y'all get these covers from? So there's a lot of stuff. And guess what? Like I was saying the other day, a lot of people gonna show up, see these books on the shelves, and think white folks gonna say, "Damn, these books ain't for us." They're gonna have other black folks that's gonna pass by and just ignore it and go straight to Lobo, Superman, or something like that. So a lot of these books gonna fit, bro.
Under previews, DC Powers one shot is $10, $9.99 a month.
Yeah. And guess what? They're all the same story. You're just buying different covers at $10.
Yeah. Yep.
They're
$10.
$9.99, and they are.
How many pages?
The page count is. Let's see. 104 pages. It's a graphic
wow.
novel. It's 104 pages.
That's pretty big. That's pretty big.
A square bound book.
Yeah, Rich, we gotta get off of them for that now.
Yeah.
So-
No, that's not bad. That's not bad.
So number one, to answer the question, is there a beast? Number one on the cover was Black Lightning.
Yes.
Let's read
That's
the
Black
solicit.
Lightning.
DC
Black
Power
Lightning,
returns for
Static.
round 2 with brand new stories spotlighting black characters from across the DC
Now,
universe.
I will say,
let me finish the solicit. You trashed the book. Let me read the solicit. By an all-star cast of writers and artists, N.K. Jemisin and Jamal Campbell return to the Hugo Award-winning world of Far Sector for an epilogue featuring the first meeting between Joe Mullen and Jon Stewart, which has never been shown in comics before.
True.
The Signal Duke Thomas finds inspiration from an unlikely ally. Crispus Allen, the Spectre, searches for purpose outside of being the Spectre and goes to Renee Montoya for guidance. Thunder and Lightning, Anissa and Jennifer Pierce, the kids of your favorite character, Richard, cause sparks to fly at a community event crashed by the Condiment King. Ralph Ars, RK, I can't pronounce that, learns the secret origin. Now this is worth getting. This part's worth getting by itself. Learns the secret origin of the original Bloodwind. Now, if you know how Bloodwind's powers work and where it comes from, that's fascinating as all hell.
Yeah.
Val Zod, Earth's 2 Superman, contemplates the balance between his pacifist philosophy and protecting the people of his universe. And Nubia, well, the Val Zod story, I'm not interested because that's done by he who should not be named. Although it's drawn by Edward Gallman, who he's becoming one of my favorite artists right now. And Nubia teams up with Mr. Mitzelplick. All these stories and more just in time for Black History Month. Square bound book, $9.99, 104 pages.
My question is, how many of them pages is ads?
How many? Whoa. See, this is what happens when you don't give Angel a disclaimer.
No, she was just reading. She was reading Dion.
Well, I said it before that person.
Okay. Sorry. Hold on. I need to play a shade alert. It's got to at least be a shade alert.
Why are there 2 different versions of Bloodwind? Are there 2 different Bloodwinds?
No. But there was a Bloodwind. Remember, Martian Manhunter was Bloodwind.
Yeah, but there's this one called Ralph Ars, whatever
And
this
then
name is.
Angry looking with red eyes.
Oh, he's probably the first Bloodwind ever before. Like the Bloodwind on the left is the. Wait a minute. The Bloodwind on the left looks like the one from the alternate universe that was with Mrs. Terrific. Remember that, Paul?
Yeah.
That don't look like he's from our universe. He's not like he's from the main universe. But we could be wrong. Or what they're going to do, and I shouldn't say this because I know it's going to trigger some people. Maybe Bloodwind is a mantle.
What?
No, look, this one has different power set. The first Bloodwind is powered by the gem. This one says gain empathic abilities empowered by the rains of the Lazarus eruption. This is a new character.
Oh.
It's still $10.
It is still a mantle.
It's a graphic novel, Rich. It's 104 pages.
So here's a question from NBA Live Girl. How do you all feel about getting these types of books only for Black History Month?
What's it gonna do?
It's the same.
We don't like that.
We're reduced to 28 days. We're 365. That's it.
Yeah. I made a post about that.
I mean, look, it's
29 days.
If we
Oh, it's a year? Huh? Is it a leap
if
year?
we
on a leap year, so once every 4 years.
if we can only get these books this time of year, then so be it. That's the way I see it. I don't necessarily think that it's. I mean, we read Black comic books 365,
Right.
So, if the companies feel like, okay, let's do something for and on behalf of Black History Month, okay, fine. I didn't boycott any quote unquote. Now there was some books I did not buy, Black History variants or whatever I did not buy and will not buy, because if I think that like some of the stuff that Marvel is putting out for Black History Month, I ain't buying that. Sorry, y'all can have that.
What is Marvel putting out? Because I ain't seen nothing.
It's a couple. You ain't missing nothing, Herschel.
See?
So
You showed
I'm
a cover or something. What was that?
Paul,
Me?
can you pull that cover back up again?
Yes.
Someone just posted about the Blood Azure Beast talking about Bloodwind is in the Action Comics annual. This is the one with the Marilyn Moonlight.
Is that the one that sold out pretty quickly?
Yeah.
Oh,
One
okay.
Marilyn
Are you
Moonlight.
sure that's not? I don't think that's the one. No, that's not the one. That's not
This
the
isn't
one. That's
one?
Action Comics.
Oh,
Paul.
this is you're right. This is Superman. This isn't Action Comics. No, I don't have the Action Comics one.
Action Comics has the Marilyn Moon Knight origin story.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have that one.
Man,
All
you
right,
think they're gonna do with Marilyn Moonlight? Y'all think they're gonna do something with it? Y'all think this is gonna play around like they normally do?
She's been a recurring character that pops up in that Action Comics storyline.
What we talking about? We're speculating on stuff now. What we speculating?
Yeah, I've just kind of set up a transition here. I'm really awkward with transitions, but you know.
Go ahead and run a commercial then.
I think we just need to run through this.
Okay.
The Moon Knight #1 that just came out.
The Vengeance of Moon Knight.
That's going to be, looks like it's going to be a pretty good book. Reese, who is the black vampire, seems to be going to be not necessarily the head character, but she'll be a main character. So plus Hunter's Moon looks like he's going to be fighting the new Moon Knight. We don't know who the new Moon Knight is yet.
We do, kind of.
We do. Well, I've been looking at no notifications or specs or whatever, but all I know is he shows up at the end of the book and tells them to get out of my house. That's all I'm looking. So.
Speaking of, the Black Moon Knight is affordable. So some of y'all like, I can't afford the first appearance of the White Moon Knight. You can get the Black one. It's affordable.
It is. And he's had a couple dope issues too.
Yeah.
Now look at Gordon Mohan. He says the original black heroes represent black metal as symbolizing the change that is necessary, symbolizing black power. The legacy carriers symbolize the white supremacist power structure.
There you go. Gordon broke it down.
You know what, Gordon? I'm gonna give you the conspiracy theory year of the award, 2024. You get the award.
We need a BCL no prize.
I'll have to work on that one too.
I mean, I thought that was obvious too. No disrespect, man, but I thought that's what the point.
I thought it was obvious too, but Richard didn't get it.
It is obvious.
Well, the white power structure. I mean, look, white supremacy is what it is. We live in it, we breathe it, we choke on it. It is what it is.
Choking.
Dennis, shout out to Dennis Cowan for throwing some subtle shade out there.
But it's one of those things, though. It's like, okay, let me just ask the question. Now that you see it, what are you gonna do about it?
People are gonna complain, but you know what? I hope what DC does to follow this up. And I'm not no shade, no nothing. I hope they do. Hope they do something with Valzad and Power Girl and make a man. I want to
stop her.
I want to see some
Stop.
You try to have video of Valzad being chased by Power Girl? Is that what you're trying to do?
Nah. But you know what? I said this the other day. I said right now, comics are kind of just doing what they've always done. They need to mix it up, get it kind of. They need to mix it up. Mix it up, get somebody married, do something, bro. We need a mix up to get people back in these shops, man.
And your idea is to have the black superhero marry a white superhero to mix it up.
Team Swirl, huh?
How's that working out for Luke Cage and Jessica Jones?
They still together.
Yeah, but did that change comics? Did that mixing it up?
No, because nobody. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be frank. I'm gonna be frank with you. Not a lot of people care about Luke Cage as much as they used to, bro.
No, I think the issue is that if you did that, the fanboys would immediately go, "Oh, more woke comics."
They're gonna do that no matter what. They're gonna do that no matter what. But people are gonna go buy it just to see what's going on. People are gonna go buy it.
Why is woke even stolen from us and defined, and then it sounds stupid when it's used again?
Because black folks pass out black cards too damn much, and that's a part of it because
No.
a lot of
It's not the black cards. It's an invitation to the picnics, and we need to stop doing that.
But that's a part. That's what it was first. It was first passed out black cards. Then it was the cookout invitations. It started with the black card.
We need to take all that back.
Listen, I said it earlier. I say, do we need to be culturally more racist?
Nah.
No,
that's not what it's about.
No, that's something different. What I'm saying
y'all are just hell bent on passing out plates to white folks. That's okay. I see
look,
it's
there's
not
a
even
difference.
that, though.
Look,
That's
there's
not
a
the
difference
situation.
between passing out a plate from the cookout with aluminum foil and you bring it to them away from the cookout and actually inviting someone to cookout grounds. Those are two different concepts.
Also, too, there's a difference between having somebody come to the cookout, hang out with, but then the next cookout, all the food is different. Now the vibe how we had
salad,
raisins in your potato salad.
You know what? I've never seen potato salad with raisins in it. I've seen it on the internet, but I've never seen it in real life. And I'm so glad I never have, because I might puke right there on the potato salad if I ever saw it. I'm just trying to figure out who said, you know what, this needs raisins. I'm just saying.
My thing is this. There's some things in the black culture I don't eat. There's some diets in the black culture I just don't eat. And
like what? I put chilling.
Huh?
You talking about chilling?
Listen, we eat a lot of. No, I don't want to go here because then somebody will say.
Does Herschel have a disclaimer?
I don't need one. I don't need one. Because last week we was on foreign black actors in America.
Yes,
Derek, please put a disclaimer out before Herschel says something.
All right, this is you get a general on Herschel.
You know what?
Okay, you are one, Herschel.
Listen.
Chitlin cuisine.
Listen.
Yeah. I've never had a chitlin in my life, and if I die before I ever have one, I'm good with that.
Listen, I'm gonna say this. I want to back up to Valzad. Valzad needs to. I wanted Valzad to get with. If they decide to put Valzad with Power Girl, good. That'll give some people something to talk about. I'm here for the chaos, and they'll give some people.
I'm here for the chaos. I cringe every time you say that.
Listen, but like chaos, not heavy chaos. But I'm here for it. Because every time you talk about an original black characters that are in love in a space, it kind of gets glazed over if it's not the two people that we like to talk about. But that's
I have a question. Why is Valzad's cape white?
Okay, well, you want me to reveal that one too?
Because it doesn't like to get dirty.
What?
That's kind of oxymoron, Paul. You gonna fly, gonna get dirty.
That's a Herschel answer.
So,
but what was the question, y'all? What was the question y'all had? We got back off on Valzad. What's the question? It was.
Oh, let's get the super chat quickly.
There we go.
Thank you, Teflon One. Have you covered the trailer for the upcoming Blade yet? Let's just play the super chat.
Donation. It's a donation. I thought it was the trash. Don't be hitting on me.
Thank you.
So is this the same one that you were gonna show last week, Paul? And then we determined it wasn't real, or is there a new Blade trailer?
Nah, the Blade trailer is real.
No, well, the video game, video game trailer.
Oh, okay.
It's
There's
a video game.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, there's one for the video game. Now, Frustrated Fan says we'll have a Soulmate book coming out. Shout out to Advent Comics with their book Soulmate that's coming out. Black Love.
Soulmate?
Okay. I think that's the book he's referring to.
Yeah, I saw that was a beautiful cover. But the sad thing about it is the guy who posted that cover was in response to another guy that talked about Valzad, and I get that. Why is it though that the Valzad got more clicks and more comments? It goes back to my point. Whenever we do show Black Love, it's like, oh, that's neat, and then we swipe away. It's like, why don't we relish in that more? Why don't we praise that more? We don't do
praise
it.
What more?
Huh?
Praise what more?
Can I just give a quick shout out? Charles Stewart is in the chat, just mentioning the fact that here's some of his work. In case he's going to Emerald City Comic Con for those that live over in that area. So just thought I'd mention that. Shout out to Charles Stewart.
Charles.
Yeah, shout out. What I was saying, Richard, is when I'm talking about black comic law, since we were just there a few minutes ago. When I see black couples and people post them, or Paul will put in their black comic love or whatever the hashtag is, you'll get a couple of people saying that's cool, da 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 da. But then when you put an interracial couple there, everybody and mama come out from under the ground, the caves. Everybody got something to say. And maybe it's because it's a sensationalism. We're supposed to be this super pro-black Umar Johnson group. I don't know. Some people have different thoughts. I'm not saying that's who we are, but that's what some people might think. It's like y'all give this more attention than y'all actually do the black love that y'all talking about. So Courtney made a great point. Why don't you just post more black love comic book pictures or panels? We don't do that because we know if we do that, it's gonna get glazed over. So like we don't celebrate it enough. So that's why I'm like, yeah, put Valzad with Power Girl. At least it'll give us something to talk about. Because if you put Valzad with, I don't know, give me a black Vixen, like when Vixen got with Batwing, a couple nods, a couple people said something about it, and that was it. And it's like
here's the cover that we were talking about.
Yeah, gorgeous cover. Gorgeous cover.
I think you're missing the element, and we spoke on this a few shows ago. When we have the black family, the core, the black man and the black woman together, they get ripped up. Somebody did something to somebody. The stereotypes go flying. And for a lot of us that believe and support black love, it's like being gun shy. Like every time you want to celebrate it, the story turns into some kind of
every time though, Angel?
Well,
are we talking about
it happens a lot and it happens enough.
With who?
Just in general. We were talking about the
Can you give me some names? Because other than T'Challa and Storm,
yeah,
I can't think of anybody who's gotten ripped apart. I mean, even Black Lightning, he got away from his ex-wife.
Monica Rambeau and Blue Marvel.
Monica Rambeau and Blue Marvel. Like, and then T'Challa. And who else y'all got?
But that's what I'm saying.
But that's two
people. Misty and Sam.
Misty and Sam still together.
You're being super focused for the comic book. I'm saying what is bombarded in general in our visuals from very small until whenever we leave this earth, black love in general is ripped apart. So when we see it, and it may be the best story in the world, people are gun shy about it. They don't want to be invested.
But then y'all spend your time in the stuff that y'all don't want to be invested in. And also to your point, Angel, this is you don't see that much in independent books. Look at this one. Now, will Buddy over at Avid Comics rip them apart? I don't know. But I have seen a lot of stuff. Like Misty and Sam. The first thing when they see Misty and Sam, oh, wasn't she with Iron Fist? Oh, Sam was legacy character. Sam's the Captain America now. We speak on hyper focus. We're hyper focused on their identities versus the love that they have. Because Misty Knight and Sam just ain't that popular in our space. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. Now,
my question is, not my question, but my comment is, we don't get enough of it, and I believe that's because there's not, to Paul's point, with a lot of this stuff, there are no black editors in the room. It's like nobody's willing to like approach or expand on a character's development through romance or love. So when we see it, or when we see it, we deconstruct it, or we just completely ignore it because it's not our character. Most people don't. If it ain't to Storm and T'Challa, most people don't care.
Exactly. So it has nothing to do with not being there. People just don't have an appetite.
So the idea that people are still waiting on that tells you all you need to know about what's wrong with the Black superhero community. Our priorities are misplaced. We love these characters, but we holding out for this carrot that may never come.
Listen,
and at the same time, we don't have our biggest problem, in my opinion, as far as this kind of discussion is, we don't have a Black superhero family
Yes.
to identify with. You
That's-
got to
that's-
start
that's-
with
that's a
there.
big
Then you
thing.
could tell a love story. You can't
Right.
tell a love story until you have that.
so the antagonist doesn't count.
No, he's
It
talking about
counts.
mainstream. He's talking about mainstream
It
comics.
counts. It counts, Herschel. But the problem is, we are a community that's vested decades in Marvel, decades in DC. It's good for guys that are just kind of joining the hobby and seeing it. But when you've been reading Black Panther, Black Lightning, Vixen, Amanda Waller, when you've been reading these books for years, you want to kind of see certain things in what you've been reading. Now, frustrated says the Noble family, but see, the problem with that is
Nobody's
that
seen that since
we
2015.
literally got that 5 issues of that. That's it.
But let's be clear and call it, we want to just see it in the mainstream. We could care less about anything else. I think we need to be on. I'm not saying you, I'm not saying Paul, I'm not saying Angel. I'm saying as a community, people need to just be honest and say, I don't care if it's Avid Comics. I don't care if it's Concrete Comics. Have a whole big wedding someplace. If it's not these two people, or if it's not Marvel, if it's not, as a matter of fact, Bumblebee and The Guardian, everybody thinks they're lame. But it doesn't negate the fact that there are 2 Black superheroes, the oldest Black superheroes that we have in mainstream comics, that are in love, and I think still even now currently married. We never saw a divorce.
They're not married.
Well, they're not married anymore because they're younger. They're showing a younger version, I think, of them or whatever. They don't show the adult version. But as adults, they never got a divorce. But again, we're talking about Bumblebee and the Guardian. Nobody cares about them. I do. Some of us do, but we don't care about them enough. We just need to be honest and say.
Well, let me ask you this, Herschel. Let me ask you this. See, we talk about these other superheroes, right?
Mm-hmm.
But can we just call it a stack? Name me one character outside of Black Panther that has a real 100% story arc?
I'll raise you even higher. Name me a Black Panther. Name me a Black superhero that's got a legit fan base like Black Panther. You're not going to find it.
I just need you to answer that question, because to me that starts the debate. We don't have characters that are fully developed. They're just features. Black Panther has here's the difference between Black Panther and everything else. 1, he's created in 1966. 2, he has a world a worldview and a universe that's really full. We know about his father, we know about his mother, we know about some of his family, and literally from 1966 to 2023, we have that much.
But the year's not going to help him, because we all know that he didn't really reach that prestigious age until like the 90s. So 66 is great. We know that that's a step for Marvel. We know that that's a check in Marvel's part to say, hey, we were Marvel.
No, I gotta push back. I gotta push back on that, Herschel, because before 98, we didn't see his family. We did see his mother. We did see his father. We did see.
I said prestige. I'm saying prestige, because hear me good. Prior to this movie, we wouldn't be having these same conversations. It's a blessing that we're able to do. It's a blessing that I'm collecting and I can go to a store. I was just thinking to myself today, it wasn't until 1998 until Black Panther got his first action figure. Bishop, Blade, all these guys had it way years before. Now, Paul, you could go into the freaking Dollar Tree and find Black Panther merch. In a old hick town. He's everywhere now. So that means that he's elevated. And that's a great thing. But I think we're almost getting to the point where we're going in a circle. Let's just call a spade a spade. And Charles just made a great point. He just said it. Seems like independent books are valued, but not above mainstream billboard. And that's a fair, straight statement. But it goes back to what I've been saying the last couple of weeks on these wrap-ups or whatever I've had the ability to come on, is that we got to start valuing our characters more and valuing the people that make them. And that's an organic thing. I totally get
let
that.
me ask you this, Herschel. Let me ask you this. Independently, name me a character or name me a book outside of Spawn that has a full story arc development. You brought up the antagonist, but the antagonist, one, the antagonists are villains. Two, we have this full grown family. We know nothing about them. All we know is that they used to be villains, and they're living this life away from their past, and now they're rediscovering the things. But we really don't know anything about Ultimates or Destructors.
We know a lot about Miles Morales.
Right.
We know about that fact. We know about the Miles Morales, like Paul just said, his entire sister, everybody. We also know about that first Black Nova Corps that Rico helped us, most of us get that cover. Of the entire family is based in the Nova Corps. Nobody cares about them.
But here's the thing too, though. When have they been in the book outside of those 5 issues, Herschel?
You have to develop a character. You have to develop another character. And then you can have a love interest that people care about.
Yeah,
so
but
it all comes back to writing and story.
Exactly.
But
that's what Rich is trying to say.
I understand what Rich is trying to say, but look what happened with Blue Marvel. Blue Marvel came out, got canceled. Nobody cared. It wasn't until years later when he barely started picking up in books. People and black folks on the internet said, "Oh, he's powerful. He's the strongest Superman." And black folks start saying, "What?" Then that prestige level rose. So that was an organic thing, really, outside of comics. His growth, his glow up was really on social media. That book was cheap. Now that book is still doing well. And he's and even before the love interest, we talk about love interest, way before him and Monica Rambeau. These things have to happen organically, but a lot of people just don't care. So that's what the Black Comic Lords are here for. We're here to inform and get people in the know. So I'm not really debating what anybody's saying, even going back to even as far as Angel, but we have to open up our minds and say, are we giving everybody a shot? Are we just really focused on this one company? And as long as we're going to be disappointed.
Here's the thing. It depends on the comic book collector. Because again, if I don't collect certain books, like I'll give you an example. Jefferson Pierce, Black Lightning, okay? Mm-hmm. In Jefferson Pierce, you got literally a nuclear or a whole family, even though him and Lynn are quote unquote divorced. Lynn Stewart, who's happens to also be John Stewart's sister. Okay, you have Thunder and Lightning. You have literally a legacy in these characters, but nobody cares. Even though this is a character too, it's been around since 1977. But the reason why nobody cares is because those characters are not really in the forefront. With Black Panther, here's the thing with Black Panther. Black Panther has kind of been pushed to the forefront. The movie definitely helped, Christopher Priest's run. And let's just be honest, that was the run that really elevated that character. That's what they took to make the movie. They didn't go grab general action stuff. They grabbed Priest's stuff.
Everybody on this, everybody realizes that. I totally get that. So then we need to be honest and say, until this guy gets to this certain status, gets back married, we don't really want to hear nothing else. And I'm not trying to be facetious. Let's just keep it a stack. We just want to get this guy where he's supposed to be. But all these other people around, guess what? But I said this a couple weeks ago. It's funny how that's kind of where we're focused on. But with white folks, they can focus on Flash. They can focus on Hot Girl. They can focus on Shazam. And granted, some of those characters lead and some of them don't. But with us, it's that oneism. We got to really just he's 1966. He's this and that. And granted, listen, I love the guy. So I'm a recast. Wow. But at the same time, maybe I'm the all lives matter guy, right?
No. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that the problem though is that it's not. I don't necessarily think it's only got to be one. I think the reason why that it is one is hold on. Let me say this, Herschel. Don't let me get it out. The only reason why there is one is because Marvel has decided this is the one. It has not been. It has. Hold on. It has not been because of us. Now, Herschel, I have watched you preach and teach all day long about Media Man, about the importance of Media Man book.
I don't even talk about Media Man no more. So
Not anymore, but I remember you when you did.
There's nothing to talk about.
There's nothing to talk about with him. Oh, guess what? Oh, speaking of, somebody just bought the rights to Media Man. And it probably ain't a black guy, and he got several patents on his name. So something coming.
Trademarks. You didn't patent anything.
So trademarks. Well, that's something. Yeah. I misspoke. My apologies. Yeah. But everybody ain't out here doing trademarks for Media Man. So we finna find out what's gonna go on.
Okay, let's change the conversation. Maybe we can figure this out. Please. So outside of Black Panther. Who is the superhero or superheroes?
I tried answering this. You did talk over me.
Who are the superheroes that we really should be trying to push? Because we tried to push Blue Marvel, and we got $2.99 Ollie action figures.
Hey, I'm logging off.
That's what happened.
Congratulations to anybody who won it.
You know, I mean, look. Does spec have something to do with this?
In answer to your question, you said, what are the black comics that we should be trying to push? If you're talking about quality of books, I think the obvious thing is Philadelphia in terms of having a well-written book that's every month is a well-written book. If you're talking about seeing things that we don't get in mainstream comics, we just talked about black families, right? Then we need to have support for the antagonist, right?
Oh, I
got a black family in the comic book.
That comic, yes.
It's a fantastic book. If you're talking about, I'd like to see a superhero that's, omega powered and doesn't fit the mold of everything that you've seen 1,000 times before in Marvel DC. We need to support Concrete Comics Acolyte, because that's a superhero, original superhero. There's original background, original power set that we don't have at Marvel and DC. It's super powerful.
Now my question, Paul, is this about that. Acolyte is very, very new, right? Yeah. And so when you and I were kids,
right,
we were introduced to some of these characters. So guys like our age, can we really take Acolyte seriously? Are you no, I'm asking questions. Are we let me say this. Are we going to drop Black Panther? Are we going to divest? Are we going to divest from the big two to try to go after these other books?
Let me answer your question. Let me answer your question. Let me answer the question. It's an interesting question because it's one I've debated about. I will say that if my house was on fire and I could only save what I could carry in terms of comics, there's only two sets of comics that would be at the top of my list to save. My Black Panther comics and my Milestone comics. Those would be the top of my list. That's how much I love Milestone, the original Milestone comics, done by Black creators, Black-owned company with Black characters. They did it best. They're still the best. There's a lot of companies that have tried to emulate that model, and there's some that are being very successful. Is what we're seeing now with Advent and Concrete, and etc. I think it's not when you talk about our generation, Rich. It's not as simple as that, because it's multifaceted as to why people of our age are so ingrained into Marvel and DC. Because at our age, when we started out, when we were 4 or 5 years old, we got into comics because we had cartoons of these characters. Why is it that it's in our DNA, basically, to love Superman and Batman and Spider-Man? because those were the cartoons that were available to us when we were children. We didn't have the luxury of the people that are under 35 these days who grew up seeing black faces in superhero cartoons and television shows and movies. We didn't have that. You and I didn't have that.
No.
We only had white superheroes. Period. End of point.
I had Eartha Kitt.
That's a good point. But she was a villain.
I
The
love
point
my-
is that was our gateway to getting it. We didn't have video games. But kids today, they have other avenues for getting into these characters. They have video games, they have cartoons, they have movies.
So we really can't divest. We couldn't have divested if we wanted to.
We could, but we could expand. We could expand
Right.
into other things.
And I agree with Paul on that. We love our nostalgic and the memories that was created from our childhood, but we have access to the new, and to drive influence on the big three, we have to show that we're also supporting the storylines that show Black excellence, including the Black family. And to Herschel's point, I wasn't disagreeing. I was just saying why we get hyper focused on one. We're so used to trying to get past a threshold, the first Black something, and we can drive to a point where we bottleneck. And what we need to do as a collective is make sure that we're supporting the stories that show all of us as a culture, as opposed to the narrative stereotype.
Right. Instead of having the black cover, the brown colored character in the background, focus on those books where we are the central figure, where we have agency in the storyline, where our characters affect the outcome, and those characters are more accurate depictions of how we actually think and act.
Yes.
And oftentimes that is done, unless your name is Al Ewing or Jonathan Hickman. Those things are usually done by other Black creators, whether it be at the big two or be in independent books. But those are the types of characters you can focus on. If you can't get out of Marvel and DC because you're stuck into that matrix, then support those creators that show that representation, that accurate representation.
Yes.
I mentioned before how I was collecting Spider-Man for most of my life, and I stopped, 5 years ago, because I was like, I'm collecting Spider-Man, I'm collecting Miles, but I'm really only digging Miles. Like, I'm collecting Spider-Man out of habit. I can get the same type of excitement that I'm getting from my old Spider-Man's Peter Parker books from Miles. So why am I still collecting Peter Parker? Let me just collect Miles. That's what men of a certain age can do.
Hey, can I say something? This is
no
disrespect to anybody, but having started with Black superheroes forever and watching, I'll say this: having been started Black superheroes forever, listen to what people say, being an admin as all you guys are. You know what I've come to notice, and this isn't everybody. I've said 3 times. This isn't everybody. This isn't everybody. This isn't everybody. This is a lot of people. We would rather be popular than like, it's okay to go and buy these Black books, but if they're not popular, I'm not going to invest in it. We don't really want to see a lot of these things that we talking about if it's not on the big screen, if it's not popular. And that is the part we got to get on. I'm not saying you. I'm not saying maybe some of the folks that's on this live, but we got to get past that and like what we like and elevate what we like, and it's going to catch on. For example, Black comic lords. Who would have freaking thunk that we would have had 45,000 people, the majority of them, that actually like and dig this stuff?
46.7.
46.7. And granted, a good 30,000 of them just are there just to be there. And we get it. That's just how the internet is.
But they're watching, learning. So we
but
have
there
to
are a lot of people are watching. You absolutely
and they're
right.
learning.
But we got to get past.
Here's the thing though with that Herschel. I think for me, I think for also men of my generation or people of my generation who are kind of ingrained in our ways. There are certain things that we gravitate to.
Absolutely.
Like we like going to our LCS on Wednesday and have the consistency of knowing I know there's going to be a Black Panther book on the shelf this week, or a Spider-Man book or a Batman book. I know that character is going to give me the entertainment that I've been reading for 30 or 40 years. That form of entertainment is going to be there. The consistency of it. And I think part of the key to make independent comics become more than what they are, become bigger and more popular beyond the promo and merchandising, which is a big part of it. Like, you got to get independent creators to make cartoons and movies and television shows, and that's how you get people from the mainstream to get into the comics. That's a big part of it. But beyond that, you have to have consistency of product. You can't put out one book and then expect people, and with a Kickstarter, and expect people to be excited about it 2 years later for the second issue. They have moved on to 100 different books since then. And you have got to put out products consistently. And shout out to those creators, those companies that have expanded into taking advantage of Diamond, having the big two leave Diamond, and they've reached out to independent books, and the independent books taking advantage of that. You got your Stranger Comics, your Advent Comics, your Second Sight, your Concrete Comics. All of these companies are now putting their books in Diamond. They're putting in Previews magazine. They're getting their books out, and these aren't new books. These are books they already had out.
Yes.
But the mainstream people that go into the LCS don't know that. They know that, hey, I'm putting this on my pull list, and I'm going to have an issue every month, and that's how you make your book grow. You got to have product. Don't come out with a book. You have to be consistent in what you come out with, because unless you're doing trade paperbacks, if you're still doing the floppy model, you have to bring those floppies out consistently, because you can't. There are people are into trade paperbacks and manga now for a reason. People don't want to have to wait to hear the end of the story. They don't want to have to wait 6 months to a year to hear the next part of the story. We want it now society, so you got to change with the times.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but we also have to remember, and we had our Black Creative Roundtable a few months back, to say, you got to be more consistent putting things out. It's easy to say that, but if you're doing everything, not just the creative and the editorial, but also the marketing, the distribution, the production, the fulfillment, then more of your time is going to that and less of it to, the things that you really probably thought about when you got into it. So
then you do something like how Kevin Grievous did his book. He didn't put out a single issue at a time. He waited until he had a full graphic novel and released it all as one graphic novel. Or even what's his face? Your boy Eric July with his Isom book. He could have done a whole bunch of floppies. He did a 96-page book. It's not coming out every month, but because it's 96 pages, people are willing to make allowances for that, because at least he completed a full story that people will remember. I think that's the model that a lot of these independent books need to do. Stop doing floppies. If you're not putting out floppies every month, wait until you have 5 issues and just release it as a trade paperback.
And for the love of God, I post your book on Facebook saying, hey y'all check me out. I'm not gonna check you out. And if I don't, you bet about $1. The Cosmos won't even give it a look. They're not familiar. They're not doing. Start giving me a better introduction. Spend your time in marketing. Just don't throw a comic book together. Just think you're gonna be the next Harriet Tubman Demon Slave.
Yeah. There's too much competition out there now.
I know what Herschel just said, but for those of you that know that I teach about collecting comics, I'm okay with people reaching out, giving me their PDFs, because if I can collaborate with them on what I see sells or whatever the gaps they may have, we can't perfect the product without all of us pitching in for it. It's easy to sit there and point and tell somebody what to do. It's another to actually roll up your sleeves and get in with them. So I often have creators reach out to me, hey, just this is what I got going on, and unsolicited or not, I'm like, hey, this is what you might want to work on, or this is the actual genre you have. This is why this is referenced this way. So I'm always in it to actually give a helping hand to get that product out for it to be better than how the creator first has it. Raw product is still valuable.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Richard's a big
Everything,
one who's done that as well.
All of it. I want all of it. Let me help you.
Yeah. And I just need to kind of call all of our attention to like time here. I know some people are running on battery only, and
time to go.
So
it's time to go. It's time to go. We've been here for a long time.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to thank everybody in the chat. Thank you for spending your time with us. You've been very active. Derek's going to work on some chat videos for you guys. Tell him to get off his butt and do his job, do his producer stuff, and make it happen, make it special. He's got us all very spoiled with how good he's done over the last couple of years. So we just got to keep pressuring him to keep doing what he's doing.
Hey, we'll save our Blerd covers for next week. But
we didn't get to do the Blerd covers.
I know.
Everybody was preaching, but that's okay.
Can we do one before we go?
Okay, I'm gonna do one because it's kind of topical. Hold on a minute. Herschel, you have to
don't do that when I can already identify what you're showing.
Okay, I still have to do it because there's something important about this one. Okay. Add the stage. Here we go. All right.
Oh,
everybody, if you don't get this one, I don't know what to tell you.
Sad.
You don't read comics. I'll say it like that.
You need to spend more time on the blackcomiclords.net if you don't get this one.
Yeah, so chat, you know what this one is? And there's something interesting that I just I saw this week.
Something that made me angry.
Yeah.
And by the way,
in a hint, Rich was giving a moment of silence to one character that was kind of done in by the Marvels movie, but this is the second one here, so we're going to get to the answer. Yeah, Amazing Spider-Man Annual 16 from 1981.
Monica.
First appearance
of Monica Rambeau. So the reason
everybody in the Black Comic Lord should have a copy of this book in their collection. I'm just saying.
Now here's something interesting. This past week, one of those in a 9.6 sold for $61.69.
Wow.
Plus $19 or $20 shipping, but
so call it $81, $82.
That's still pretty cheap. Wow.
Yeah, and you can kind of see how far down the 9.6s have come, from where they were before. So I feel like at that price, somebody probably got a steal. Yes. But it just goes back to the fact that after that movie came out, and then after Monica, I mean, she wasn't featured the way she needed to be featured in that movie. I think that she took a hit on that because I think there was a lot of stock riding on that. There are a lot of other factors too, but that's a big one.
So buy it now before it goes back up.
If you don't have a copy of this book, now's a good time to go ahead and buy this book. Yeah. I don't have this one in a graded copy. I might look to see if I could find one.
It's a great time right now. You can get a 9.6 easily under 100. This was an auction, but you can find more under 100. Yeah, probably less than 80.
Under 100, you need to buy it tonight because it's not going to really. Is it going to drop lower? You might save 20, maybe. Yeah, maybe $20, but it ain't gonna drop lower than $20.
It costs you $40 to get a book graded, and right.
$65 if you get it cleaned and pressed.
Yep. So anyway, just sharing that news.
That's what's up.
Yep. Hey, don't forget this, weekly, we got, this is a Wednesday show. We're trying to make these really consistent on Wednesdays, but we also have the Friday nights when Mark and Paul are able to get those going. And then Real Talk with Rich picks back up this weekend, this Sunday.
Yes, sir.
And then we have a whole host of specials, previous live shows, interviews, and we do hope to get going back up on the on that interview circuit very soon.
Hey, Charles Stewart, there goes your interview right there in the middle with Evan Narcisse.
Hey, there we go.
Shout out to Charles Stewart III.
Yep. So with that said, benediction or closing words, Paul or Rich?
Good night.
Wash your hands. It's flu season.
And I do see one more super chat, so just quickly here.
Thank you.
Hopefully we can make our budget this week.
Thank you.
Did you say
Thank you so much.
Did you say wash your hands?
Wash your hands. It's flu season.
If this is since this is 100% a kids show, I'll say this too.
No,
don't do that.
No.
Don't.
Good night, y'all. Be safe.
Good night.
Peace, everyone.
Good night, all.
Can't take Herschel anywhere. This guy.